Well, business owners in Durban say the past year has been traumatic as they've tried to recover after the July Unrest. It's been a year since violence and looting erupted in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. This was sparked by the arrest of a former president, Jacob Zuma. Now, Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan is on the ground following developments there. What have business owners told you so far, Karinda?
Indeed. Well, yesterday we did an oversight visit with the KZN government to various businesses that are still rebuilding a year after the deadly July unrest. And many people on the ground spoke about the difficulty in just recovering financially, but also emotionally from what happened. Many business owners telling us that they had arrived at the scene watching their businesses, their buildings being looted or being set alight and destroyed, and not being able to do anything about it. Also lamenting the fact that police were overwhelmed and could not attend all scenes or really could not stop looters. This is as various business owners, resident citizens of KwaZulu-Natal and of course Gauteng reminisce about the year that's been, and especially the violent week or the violence that erupted during that week in July last year. Now, one business owner that we spoke to is an owner of a franchise based in Umlazi, and what he explained was that he had started his business in 2007, and just around 2020 or 2019 is when his business started to actually show profits. He had equipment up to 1.3 million rand inside his food outlet takeaway store, and all of this was destroyed. And up until now, he's still trying to recover in terms of not just paying out loans that he took during the COVID-19 pandemic at the start of it, but now loans that he's had to take because he has to rebuild his business from the ground up and of course refurbish with the assets that he had. Take a listen to what Muzi Shinga told us yesterday.
On the day, on the 11th, 12:30 at night, when people were busy taking whatever they could at that time, and I saw it and did experience it myself when people were doing it, but when I came in it was already late. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it at all. People have to think for whatever actions they do, because in most of the time, bad actions have a negative impact to the society, to the people, to the environment. No matter what you do, if you don't think straight before you do it, then you're asking for more problems. Because if you look at it, how many people lost jobs? How many people died on the day? And I don't think that when they were deciding to do this thing, they had that in mind, that over 400 people will lost their life. That's a sad reality. People must think of their actions.
That was Muzi Shinga, the business owner in Umlazi, and of course he is reminiscing about what happened during that time. And the words that he spoke was after we asked him if he had a message for those who had looted his store, were participating in the looting, and that's what he had to say about the destruction that ultimately happened after that week in July, or during that week in July. Now, as we are also going around Durban to look back on the events that happened, we're at one of the roads, my colleague Pilani Zuma and I, and even outside this store, which is now open, we remember how in the early hours of the morning there were long queues outside this grocery store, because this was one of the only ones that were actually open and had security and were allowing people to come in and purchase only a few essential items at a time. At the same time, we have thought about how at one point bread trucks were being escorted by security vehicles down major highways because of the fear of threat of looting these vehicles. That was the situation on the ground during that week in July, where even residents were camping outside roads like this one, in fear that there would be crowds of looters coming through to destroy or to loot their grocery shops, or the only few that were actually left open. So that is really what was happening on the ground during that time, and today we're going to go around to those same places to speak to residents and business owners about what their year has been like since the July unrest and what are the expectations going forward, and if they have any concerns about whether or not those who have been arrested would in fact be convicted before court.
Well, thank you very much, Karinda, for that perspective. Of course, we'll continue to watch recovery efforts out in KZN for much of the day as we continue to mark a year since the 2021 civil unrest.